Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and today we are installing Windows 10 on my computer. Alright everyone, it's probably been a while since you've seen this camera, and don't worry, the quality will get better. I used my good camera to record the installation of Windows 10 on my computer already, and Windows 10 just came out yesterday, July 29th, 2015. Today is July 30th, and I went ahead and downloaded the update and installed it. Like I said, on camera. Those files are currently transferring to my computer, and the reason that I am using this camera to record the introduction is because I wanted to kind of rush this video out for you guys. This is kind of a time-sensitive thing, because in the next couple weeks, you might get prompted to install Windows 10 on your computer. So before you do that, you might want to see what the process for installing Windows 10 is, and I'm going to show you that in this video. Now, in the coming weeks, I'm going to be taking a look at Windows 10. Still not going to be my main operating system. I'm still using Linux as my main operating system. But yeah, I will be taking a look at Windows 10. I've already taken a good look at it just in the past couple hours. And I will be making a full review with screencasting software and everything, you know, much higher quality. But obviously, you cannot screen record the installation of Windows 10 unless you're using like a virtual machine. But I went ahead and I upgraded from Windows 8.1 Pro to Windows 10 on my main computer, like I said, and you are about to see that installation. So I hope you enjoy, and here you go. Alright, so here we are on the desktop. Like I said, sorry about the fact that we're not using screen recording software today, but you cannot record an OS upgrade, at least not on physical hardware, and I would like to upgrade my physical hardware to Windows 10. So I have already installed all of the important updates for Windows 8.1. There are a few optional updates that I have not installed yet, just because I don't boot into Windows 8.1 that much, but hopefully upgrading to Windows 10 will take care of those, because I shouldn't need 8.1 upgrades if I'm on Windows 10. So I went to this website that said how to upgrade to Windows 10, and you're supposed to reserve your installation or something. If you don't see it, visit our Q&A for more. I saw when I turned on my computer today is the 30th, Windows 10 came out yesterday on the 29th, when I turned on my computer, the hard drive light went solid, I opened up Task Manager, and there was a task called Windows Module Installer Assistant, or something like that was taking up a lot of hard drive usage and a lot of CPU usage for a little bit, and then it went away, and I did not see an upgrade offer. So, if you reserved your free upgrade, it's on the way. Absolutely can't wait. Tech-savvy users can use the media creation tool. That's what I'm about to do. Your upgrade could come... Alright, see, your notification to upgrade could come as soon as a few days or weeks. So, basically, what they were trying to do is... Microsoft always encourages people to upgrade Windows, either because it makes Microsoft money or just because it's more secure for people. But, in this case, they didn't want every single Windows 7, 8, or 8.1 user all trying to download the update at once. So what they did was, for normal users, your computer will automatically scan its hardware, and it will go and figure out if your computer can run Windows 10. If it can, then it will book a time that it will download the update from Microsoft, or at least a time that it will prompt you to download the update, and that way Microsoft is spreading out the downloads a little bit. For instance, right now, there's a lot of other people probably downloading this, so it's not having me download it right now. Now, that's not going to work. I'm going to do this manually. But for people who don't care about having the very latest and greatest version of Windows, then yeah, they can wait a couple weeks. Or their computer, rather, made the decision to wait a couple weeks, rather than asking them. So yeah, I saw this. If you'd like to create a USB drive or DVD to download once and upgrade multiple PCs, click here. And at first I thought I might try a reinstall, just a complete clean installation. Now I'm thinking I'm just going to do an upgrade. And normally I don't like doing upgrades, especially on Linux, though. I always make sure to do clean installs on Linux. I don't like doing upgrades on Linux. But Windows, the upgrade is supposed to work pretty well. So I'm going to do an upgrade on Windows. At the very least, I don't want to have any issues with the product key, because I'm using a Windows 8 Pro product key right now, but I think it might be an upgrade key, because I think I had Windows 7 on here a while ago, and yeah, I don't know what the deal is with the product key. So basically, I'm using a legitimate product key, but I don't want to have to deal with, will that 8.1 Pro product key work for Windows 10? I don't have to deal with that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and download this tool. And the way that I see it, we shouldn't have to actually create media just to install on this PC. We should be able to use this to just install on one PC. They just called it media creation because that's its main purpose. Because after a while, everyone will just get Windows 10 through Windows Update. But you can see Windows 10 setup. A little box is opened. What do you want to do? Upgrade this PC now or create installation media for another PC. So if you want to make your own Windows 10 CD or DVD, or if you want to make a USB drive to install Windows, you can do that right here. Let me go ahead and move the camera back in. This will have to do. Once again, sorry about the recording setup, guys. This is a darker blue than you're seeing right now. Microsoft has offered ISO images for a few years, at least since Windows 7. I know it was possible to download Windows 7 ISO images directly from Microsoft, completely legally. They won't work unless you have a product key anyway, so they're okay with giving you the ISO image. But yeah, we're just going to upgrade this PC now, and then you guys will get to see what it's like to use Windows 10 before, hopefully before the upgrade gets pushed to you. So we are downloading Windows 10. Progress is already to 1%. That's pretty quick. I'd like to take this time while we're waiting for this to load to address some concerns about security and, more importantly, privacy in Windows 10. Now, Microsoft has lots of experts working on security all the time, and I'm sure that the security of Windows 10 is going to be top-notch. However, I'm really more interested in privacy, and that is, I know that hackers probably won't be able to get into my Windows 10 installation. You know, not that anyone's going to specifically be targeting me, but I feel comfortable, you know, protected against viruses and protected against just infiltration by random third parties using Windows. However, Microsoft themselves have built in a number of things in Windows 10 that are going to be spying on me, and I'm not a huge fan of that. Among those things are, I think the microphone is supposed to be always on for Cortana, which Cortana is basically Microsoft's version of Siri, or Google Now. Cortana is a digital assistant, and so yeah, by default the microphone's always going to be on. By default, if you have a video camera, that's always going to be on for, I think, Face Unlock or something. Even if you're not using Face Unlock, it might still be on. I'll have to check up on that. I'm not looking at any list right now. I'm just going off of some stuff that I found earlier while I was looking into this. There are a lot of like search history, not just search history, but all browser history in the Microsoft browsers, both Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge. All of your history in those is tracked. I think all of your keystrokes in Windows might actually be tracked, if not just all the keystrokes in the Microsoft browsers. That was unclear when I was researching earlier, but there's at least one keylogger just built into Windows, and it's not a security issue because the keylogger is by Microsoft, but it is a privacy issue because it's still sending everything I type away. And what am I doing that I would be worried about Microsoft collecting my data? Well, I'm not doing anything wrong. I have nothing to hide. At the same time, though, I enjoy privacy. I just enjoy people not looking at everything that I'm doing. If only just, I don't know, call me crazy. Call me crazy for not wanting Microsoft employees, and by extension, the NSA and the United States government, to look at every single thing that I'm doing. Call me crazy. Obviously, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not, you know, I don't know what you guys would think that I'm doing. But yeah, there's plenty of people that argue the whole, well, if you have nothing to hide, if you're not doing anything illegal, you shouldn't be worried about all these keyloggers and always-on technologies and everything that Microsoft is building into these things. But yeah, I am kind of worried about it, just because I don't want people looking at my stuff. Even if there's nothing wrong with my stuff, it's still mine. That's something I think Apple has over Microsoft, because I think I trust Apple more than Microsoft in terms of privacy at this point. But obviously I'm not using a Mac. Obviously I have a PC and I'm using a Windows partition. The only things I use this partition for are gaming, and there's plenty of games available on Linux. Actually all of the games that I play are available on Linux. I play games in Windows because I like separating my work in Linux and my playtime in Windows. I don't want to, you know, be distracted with video games when I have videos to edit. And so that's one of the reasons that I dual boot. And then another reason is broadcasting. Although, once again, OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, which is what Nerd on the Street uses, is now available on Linux as well. So, yeah, we might switch over to Linux for broadcasting eventually. Right now, we just have everything set up under Windows. Alright, we just got an icon refresh. You all saw that. Still loading up some of those icons. I did not bother to check any program compatibility before I clicked start on this. Just thought you guys might want to know that. Yeah, I did no research whatsoever other than I read the PC World review of Windows 10. But yeah, I didn't actually research any of my programs to see if they work. But I'm thinking Windows 10, like from a technical standpoint, shouldn't be that different from Windows 8.1. Like, I shouldn't have any issues with program compatibility. It seems like most of the differences in Windows 10 are like user interface stuff, and yeah, new programs like that digital assistant Cortana that's been in Windows Mobile and Windows Phone for a little while now, but we're finally getting it here on the desktop. But yeah, as I was saying, Windows 10 does track you quite a bit, and some of those tracking things you actually can't turn off, and that's the biggest problem. Windows 8.1 and Windows 8, they track you too. There's all kinds of stuff that Windows 8 tracks by default, but in Windows 8, you can turn all of that off. And in Windows 10, you cannot turn some of that stuff off unless you have a enterprise license, which is kind of disturbing. That, like, oh, you're an individual, so we're gonna have to spy on you. The only people who are allowed to have us not spy on them is large businesses. Yeah, that's not something that I enjoy hearing about. So yeah, I hope that Microsoft quits that silliness, but they probably won't. But that's why I'm using Linux. So yeah, the point of that whole freaking rant was that I do use Windows for gaming, and I use Windows for broadcasting, which is a lot more important, but that's subject to change pretty quickly. But aside from those things, Windows is basically a backup OS for me. Sometimes I screw up my Linux installs doing dumb stuff. Right now it's fine, but yeah, sometimes Kubuntu decides not to work, sometimes Arch decides to break, sometimes OpenSUSE decides to blow up in my face. And I like having a Windows partition to boot into if I have, like, homework assignments, or if I'm, like, being brigaded on YouTube, or just, you know, things that I need to deal with in a timely manner. So yeah, you can see I've got Linux Multimedia Studio installed here. I've got a trial of Vegas Pro installed here. I've got a couple of production pieces of software on here. But yeah, I don't actually do anything serious in Windows. I do use Linux. Not only for privacy. Linux, I don't just use it for privacy. It's because functionality-wise, I do enjoy Linux more. I enjoy using GNOME more than I enjoy using the Windows desktop, although we'll see if Windows 10 changes that. And also, right now, for the record, I am using KDE 5 on Linux. But progress for downloading is now to 90%. This is not taking too long at all. I wonder if we can actually check on our download speed, just for something to do while we're sitting here waiting. I don't know why I didn't just cut. You guys are probably going to hate me for not just cutting through all of that, but we are currently receiving 50 megs per second. Oh my goodness. Alright guys, I did a speed test just a few days ago, and speedtest.net capped me out at like 25 megabytes per second. So, and this is downloading at 40, 50 megabytes per second. That's really fast download speed. So props to Microsoft for setting up some really decent servers. Yeah, thanks, guys. That was a really quick download. I did not realize that I was receiving that fast, and that's nice to see. Because, yeah, Charter is supposed to give me 100 megabytes per second down, but normally they only give me around 20. So yeah, at least this time I was getting half of what I was supposed to, and not a fifth like I usually do. Alright, so now we're creating Windows 10 media. Like I said, we're not actually burning a DVD, we're not actually imaging a flash drive, but this is a media creation tool, so I guess it's like extracting the download or putting it into whatever form it needs to install it. So I probably won't have too many videos on Windows 10, because like I said, this is a Linux-centered channel. But if you guys have any questions about Windows 10, feel free to ask them. Of course, feel free to ask them. And yeah, I'm just excited to have the latest and greatest thing, because I'm all about having that latest and greatest thing. whether it's good for me or not. So yeah, the day after it came out, here I am getting Windows 10. You know, it's kind of funny. If Windows 10 was not a free upgrade, I probably would not be getting it right now. I bought the Windows 7 upgrade, or I received the Windows 7 upgrade as a Christmas gift back when it cost $200. A few years, well, yeah, you know, obviously a few years ago when Windows 7 came out, I got the Windows 7 upgrade for my Vista laptop. And then a few years later, even after I had started using Linux, I still bought Windows 8 Pro. Or actually, Windows 8 Pro was given to me as a birthday present. All of my Windows stuff have been gifts. But yeah, I'm actually so engrossed in Linux now that if Windows 10 cost another $100 to upgrade to, then I would not be getting Windows 10. But it's free, so they suckered me into it, hooked me in, and here I am installing it. So I guess Microsoft's master plan worked. Because yeah, here I am getting it. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Windows, still want to be up to date. Since it's free anyway, I might as well. So progress is now at 100%. Alright, got a splash screen there. This is interesting. The Windows 10 computer is designed to let you keep using your computer while it's running. And in the past, like the Windows 7 upgrade, it like restarted the computer into setup mode on the DVD, and kind of you were stuck there in setup mode. I didn't catch what that screen just said before that went away. But yeah, the Windows 8 CD, it had to, obviously we'll have to restart it a couple times in a minute here. But yeah, when I installed Windows 8, I think the Windows 8 upgrade blocked use of your computer a bit. Last updated July 2015, these license terms. So yeah, there's all kinds of license terms, and we will accept them. Alrighty, getting updates. But yeah, it's interesting. The Windows 10 installation, it's being pushed automatically. It's prompting users through their taskbars, or at least it will in the coming weeks. It's coming directly through Windows Update, so not only is it free, but it's easy to get, and yeah, you can still use your computer while it's installing. So Microsoft is really going to great lengths to make sure that enough people install this. I don't know how many enough is, but yeah, it's just really interesting how things are different with this new version of Windows, and apparently Windows 10 will be the last version of Windows. That's the rumor out there right now. Microsoft is just going to continually update Windows 10 forever, just in incremental updates. It is now a rolling distribution for my Linux friends. That is what it will now be. Features will come as they're developed. They will be released through Windows Update, and all presumably for free, although I read something somewhere about having to renew your Windows license every 10 years. Like you only get Windows support for 10 years from your activation date. Unlike like Windows 8, you got support 10 years from the launch date of Windows 8. Windows 10, you get 10 years of support from when you install it. And so the only way that that would make any sense is if Microsoft is never going to release the next version of Windows, because they wouldn't want to keep supporting Windows 10 if they were going to release Windows 11. So yeah, the only way that that makes sense for Microsoft to support every copy of Windows 10 10 years after it's made. Hey, Windows 10. That would be a good reason to call it Windows 10 and not Windows 9, because it's like Windows 10. Got to renew it every 10 years. But yeah, that's something I read somewhere. That was my interpretation of the whole system, was that in 10 years my Windows license is going to expire and I'll have to pay another $200 to get it to work again. And at that point I'm just going to wipe it out and not use Windows anymore. But for the next decade, I am good to go. And yeah, that might not be how it's actually going to work, but I read online that you get updates 10 years from when you purchase Windows, and so yeah, I am assuming that that's how that's going to work. And that really fits into the whole software as a service thing that Microsoft is trying to pull off, especially with like Office 365 and things like that, where you no longer pay for software once, and receive support for however long that software receives support for, you now pay for software continually, and then you will either receive support or not receive support based on whether or not you have paid individually for the software that month or that year or that decade. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go with Windows 10. Alright, I think we'll have enough space. Yep, cool. So, ready to install. You won't be able to use your PC while Windows installs. Save and close your files before you begin. You have chosen to install Windows 10 Pro, keep personal files and apps. Change what to keep. Oh, you can keep personal files only, and your settings and apps will be deleted, but your files will be kept. But I actually don't want to go through the process of reinstalling all of my programs on here and reconfiguring them all. So yeah, we will keep personal file. Okay, making sure you're ready to install again. Gosh darn it. Shouldn't have clicked the button, but I had to do it. It's my duty as a reporter for you guys. You guys would have wondered what would have happened if I had clicked that button. So I went ahead and clicked it for you, and you saw it gives you the 3 options of keeping everything, keeping just your files, and keeping nothing, and wiping your computer clean. So we are going to install Windows 10 Pro, keep personal files and apps. Install. And now the entire screen is taken over. None of the corners do anything. Okay. So your PC will restart several times, and this might take a while. Whew, I might stop talking for a while here. Oh, we've got a cancel button over here. 7% complete, but there's a cancel button. We're not going to hit the cancel button because we don't want to cancel. I assume if you click that, everything will fail, and then you'll have a broken installation of Windows, because I don't see how you can cancel an OS installation. But yeah, just as long as this doesn't touch my Linux hard drive. It's not a separate partition. I've got an entirely different hard drive with my Linux files on it, and then an SSD with Linux itself on it. So yeah, as long as Windows only touches the Windows drive, even if it were to accidentally wipe everything, I would be not too broken up over it, because all my important stuff is in Linux. So it said this might take a while, but we're already 37% complete. This is a pretty fast computer, but yeah, we'll have to see quite how long a while is. Okay, your PC will restart in a few moments. So I'm wondering, I know like the Windows 10 installation, the PC restarted like 3 times maybe, and the Windows 8 installation, I can't remember how many times it restarted. I think it was less than Windows 10, but we'll see if Windows 8, I just botched that whole thing. Basically, I'm wondering if the Windows 10 installation is now complete, or if we'll have to restart once or twice more before it's finished. Alright, so I'm back at my desktop. Oh, but we are restarting. Mouse is still working, so that's always good. Alright. So here I will get a BIOS password prompt. Alright, good. I was a little concerned, not too concerned, but just a little concerned that the Windows installation would wipe out my grub install, because that happens when you're using the same hard drive for everything. I don't know what hard drive grub is installed to, but grub is still there. So we'll boot back into Windows. And Windows is always actually a bit slow to boot on my computer, and slow to shut down. That was actually I guess a quicker shutdown than normal. Oh, that was a pretty quick boot. Oh, upgrading Windows. So we have the usual 3. Alright, this is familiar. They moved the screen around a little bit, but we always have these things at the somewhere on the screen that say copying files, installing features and drivers, and then I guess configuring settings would be the initial setup. So yeah. Not sure what the difference between that percentage and this percentage is. I guess this is overall percentage, and that's going to go around in a circle, so that'll be a fun thing to speed up and watch later. And my hard drive light is solid, although I don't know, I guess it's copying the files from the hard drive to the hard drive, since I didn't actually make media, the media is on the hard drive. Okay, looks like we restarted one more time. Hopefully this will be the last one, although I could see maybe one more. And Grub is still intact, always good to see. And Windows. I guess the boot animation would be the same. I don't see why they would change it. Because the Windows 10 logo should be the same logo, right? I would just assume, since I didn't see a new Windows logo for Windows 10. And they kept the same one from Windows 8 for Windows 8.1. Alrighty, hard drive light is solid. Seems to be a theme with Windows, these Windows installations. Alright, so now we're configuring settings. It's funny because I'm not actually configuring any settings right now. I'm sitting here watching the computer configure settings for me. So I'll let you guys know. Well, obviously you'll see it. Since this is a video, you'll see it if it asks me any settings questions. "99%. Well, I guess configuring settings, it's still at 96%. But still, that's pretty exciting. Only taken, it'll probably have taken around an hour or so once it's done. It's been less than an hour at this point, but... Alright, hey there, welcome back. Or hi there, welcome back. So, screen resolution is way down, but I am Jacob Kaufman, and that is my profile picture from like 6 years ago. So, next. Get going fast. Alright, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and customize settings, personalization, personalize your speech, typing, and inking input by sending contacts and calendar details to Microsoft off. Send typing and inking data to Microsoft off. Typing data, yeah, no. Let apps use your advertising ID for experiences across apps. You know, I'll leave that on, just to make a statement that I'm not just turning all these off. I have a problem with them having my typing data. I don't have a problem with an advertising ID within apps. I'm not going to be using any apps from the Windows App Store anyway, though, because the Windows App Store sucks. But we'll leave that on. Location, off. Next. Browser and protection. Smart screen, off. Page prediction. Browsing data will be sent to Microsoft, off. Automatically connect to suggestion to open hotspots. There's not a Wi-Fi card in this, but we're going to turn that off. Automatically connect to networks shared by your contacts. Once again, this computer's not moving around, but I don't even get how would you automatically connect to a network shared by your contact if you're not connected to the network? So how would you know that your contact connected to it? Anyway, error in diagnostic information, no. Next, choose default apps. Next. I'll be using third-party apps for most things. Alright. Okay, so this must be the new login screen. Alright. So that's the new Windows 10 page desktop background thing. We'll go ahead and sign in. And one thing about Windows 10 is I just typed in my Microsoft Live account password. But Windows 10, you don't have to use your Live account. You can still be connected to your Live account, but you can have a password just locally for your computer. So I might do that to set a shorter password. So this is the same hi while we're getting things ready for you, blah blah blah, all that stuff that Windows 8 and 8.1 gave us. This won't take long. Setting up your apps. Okay. Alright, this is a little different. It remembered that we selected blue in my previous installation, and we are just pulsing between black and blue rather than going through the entire rainbow like I think 8 and 8.1 did. Alright, let's start. And there is no start screen in Windows 10, but here we are on the desktop, and our icons are all screwed up, and our screen resolution is all screwed up. Let's go ahead and fix the screen resolution right off the bat. Display settings. Alright, so this is the new control panel. It is a hybrid, a mixture of the touchscreen version of the settings and the desktop version, because it's the touch version, but it's on the desktop. Change our screen resolution here. 1440p. Apply. Hey, there we go. Keep changes. So now everything doesn't look like crap. Well, that still looks a little like crap. But we'll go ahead and sort our desktop by name. Looks like one icon is missing. There's a new recycle bin icon. Something that was on our desktop is missing, because I had exactly 2 rows of icons before. So that's not good, but yeah. This is the new Windows Explorer, and I won't show you guys too much, because now Windows is actually installed. There's the new Start menu, though. I'll definitely make... Okay, hi. Hello, screen just flickered, and probably still working on drivers and things, because things are a little choppy right now. But yeah, there's a search bar right here. But yeah, I'll make a screencast video of how all this works and stuff, but that was installing. So if you haven't installed Windows 10 yet, and you're concerned about it, don't worry about it. Super easy, as you just saw. The taskbar is actually smaller now, which is weird. Maybe that's, well, I don't know. Yeah, the taskbar is smaller. This is strange. Alright. Oh, an update is being installed. Alright, this is really crazy. This is cool. Lots of new looks for everything, new skin, that's the whole deal right now. Oh, and we've got multiple desktops now. So we can open up Microsoft. Alright, so this is Microsoft Edge. And now we can make a new desktop. And I covered the new desktop feature in my technical preview, my Windows 10 technical preview video. One of the predictions I made was, in the Windows 10 technical preview, you could not drag and drop Windows onto other desktops like that. But I made the prediction that they would do that, the pretty obvious prediction that they would add that functionality. So yeah, that's just a little look into some functionality that was added since the technical preview that was months ago. So yeah, I'm probably not going to use Edge too much, but I am going to play around with Windows 10, and yeah, I'll definitely get you guys a video soon on Windows 10's features and things. But yeah, for now, if you are just ready to try Windows 10, ready to install it, ready to upgrade to it, and you just wanted to know what the process is going to be like, you just saw it, pretty darn easy, and all of my files and all of my applications are still here. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the installation process or about Windows 10 in general. Feel free to chat with us at the forums at nerdonthestreet.com, or, of course, you can just leave a comment. But yeah, for now, that's everything. I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and I will see you guys later. Bye.